If you feel like you're constantly working on your health, you're tracking your food, you're walking more, you're literally trying as hard as you can, but you feel like you're just going in circles and nothing's changing, you're not seeing a result, you feel like maybe it's your genetics, maybe it's your age, nothing works for you. The problem is you don't need more motivation, you need a system that works when your emotions don't. One of my favorite quotes literally of all time is this. It's from James Clear in his book Atomic Habits. He says this: you don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. And this is something that I've applied to every aspect of my life, and when I apply it, it works. Fat loss isn't about wanting it more, because you want it more. Everybody wants to lose body fat, but few can actually do it. Fat loss is about creating a life where it becomes easy. And today I'm going to show you the system that puts fat loss on easy mode. Most people fail at fitness not because of a lack of desire, but they fail at fitness because they're so obsessed with outcomes instead of systems. So what they do is they only feel successful if the scale moves, and their motivation and their actions are dictated based off of outcomes, based off of results. And the moment they don't see the results that they want, what do? Quit, and they say it's not working. And that's why so many people start their health journey in January and they give up their health journey by February. 87% of New Year's resolutions fail by February. Why? Because they didn't meet their expectations they set for themselves. Unmet expectations decrease motivation. And people like this are so focused on what they hope would happen, and when it doesn't come true, they feel let down. So instead of focusing on outcomes, I want you to focus on outputs. Now here's the truth. The person who loves to walk gets further than the person who loves the destination. And what this means is when you actually love the process, when you fall in love with the journey, you don't really care how long it takes because you know you're going to get there no matter what. Most people love the idea and love the thought of losing weight, but they hate the reality of doing the same 5 things over and over again for months. They can't stand the roller coaster of success. They can't stand when the scale pops up 3 pounds, and they can't stand when the scale stays the same after a week of dieting. So let me reframe it for you. An output is what you do and what you can control. An outcome is what happens after you do something. You can't control how much weight you lose every single week. Even as a coach, I can't guarantee that someone loses 20 pounds in a week. I can figure out what are the most likely things that they need to do to lose the 20 pounds, but you can't actually predict exactly what's going to happen. You can't control what your belly fat does, but you can control if you track your food. You can control if you hit your protein. You can control if you're going to walk 8,000 or 10,000 steps every single day, no matter what. You can control if you get to the gym 4 times a week. You can control if you weigh in consistently. You can control if you get back on track after you experience a setback. The people who stay in shape are not more motivated than you. They're not more gifted than you. They're just more focused on their outputs than you. And they keep showing up long after the excitement wears off. And this is the secret sauce. This is what puts fat loss on ease mode. This is what dictates someone who burns out on their fitness journey versus someone who stays consistent and stays with it. This is also a problem I see with new content creators. I've been creating content and on social media for a long time now, I think over 7 years. And I've seen a lot of people come and go. People try to copy my videos and copy my posts, and people who come out and they post multiple times a day and then they drop off out of nowhere. I have 3,200 posts on Instagram and I have 400 podcast episodes. Those are my outputs. But here's where new content creators burn out. They don't focus on the 3,200 posts that I have or the 400 podcast episodes. They focus on the views and they focus on the likes. If as a content creator, I only focus on views and likes and that's all I cared about, I would be long gone by now. But the thing that's helped me stay consistent over time is not the outcomes, it's me focusing on the outputs. I can't control outcomes, how many likes I get on a video, but I can control how valuable I make a video. I can control if I still show up and give value and I serve every single day. And when I learned that, that's when I was able to actually see the progress that I wanted to. What are you chasing likes for in your life? Maybe you're not a content creator, but maybe you're chasing a number on the scale, just like new content creators chase views or likes on social media. And so instead of chasing the outcomes, you need to chase and put your focus on the outputs. Now, here's why I rely on systems so much over goals in my own life. I have 4 kids. I run 2 businesses. I also serve consistently at my church. Like, I am busy. I'm juggling so many things every single day. And I still am able to stay on top of my own fitness goals. And I can confidently say within the last decade of my life, literally 10 years, through all the ups and downs, all the things I've experienced, I have not fallen off track with my fitness. And here's why. It's not because I have more time. It's not because I have more motivation. It's not because I desire it more. It's because I have more structure and I have systems in place. And if I didn't have systems, I know for a fact I would have burned out by now. And I'd constantly feel like I was failing someone, whether I was failing my clients, whether I was failing my family, or whether I was failing myself. So what did I do? I built systems. I built systems for my meals. I built systems for my workouts. I built systems for my client check-ins. I built systems for my spiritual life. And I even built systems for my marriage and dating my wife. What do these systems do? These systems remove friction. They remove the thought process, the decision making. They let me fully show up every single day without wondering what I'm supposed to do next. And if you're overwhelmed, if you're exhausted, or if you're stuck, you don't need to do more. You need to systematize what already matters. Decision fatigue is literally killing your ability to stay consistent on a regular basis. The average human being makes 35,000 decisions every single day. And 226 of those decisions are about food. And that's why by the time you get to dinner, you're overwhelmed, you're burnt out, and you're making the worst choices with food. Why do you think people struggle with late night eating so much? It's not because they're tempted with food more. It's because they've already made 34,000 decisions by the time 8 p.m. rolls around. So when it comes down to should I have a protein shake or a cookie, they don't have good decision-making skills at this time, so they choose the protein shake. So if you can actually create systems with your food, you're gonna be able to make better decisions, and you're gonna make less decisions. Even if you started strong in your day, even if you have good willpower, most people are not gonna make good decisions the more decisions that they make. The more decisions you make, the worse decisions you make. So if you wanna be consistent with your fitness, with your finances, with everything in your life, you have to make less decisions. Your goal is to make as few amount of decisions as possible. And that's why I don't eat different meals every single day. That's why I don't wing things. So here's my system that I like to use every single day that takes the decision-making process out of my food. I eat 200 grams of protein every day, no matter what. I rotate the same 5 to 10 meals 90% of the time. Meals I've dialed in, meals that are quick, meals that are easy to make, meals that hit my macros, and they require zero thought. I don't scroll through Instagram at night trying to find a brand new recipe. I know the recipes that work for me and I stick to those. I don't ask myself, what sounds good or what should I eat at 5 p.m. because I already know what I'm gonna eat, and I just execute on that. If you want to reduce emotional eating, overeating, and falling off track, you have to make less decisions with your food. Systems beat motivation every time, and motivation is fragile. It disappears when you're tired, stressed, and busy. But your systems you create, they run even when you don't feel like showing up for yourself. And here's what I teach my clients. The first thing is you have to dictate what is the trigger. What is the cue that starts the behavior? So this is laying out your gym clothes the night before to make sure you show up to the gym. This is scheduling your workouts in your calendar. This is opening MyFitnessPal every time you eat. Like, what is the trigger that you need in order to integrate these new habits into your life? The second thing is the process. What is the exact action step that you have to take? So instead of being like, I'm gonna eat eggs for breakfast, what about you're gonna eat 3 eggs, 1 slice of Dave's Killer bread with some berries? You're dialed in on the details. The third thing is these systems have to be trackable, so you can measure if you did it or not. And so this could be the 200 grams of protein per day that I mentioned. This could be the 8,000 steps. This could be, did you wake up at 5 a.m. today or not? But it's actually a number that you could track. If your plan doesn't include those 3 things, it's not a system, it's a goal. And if you only set goals, it's just like only relying on motivation. It comes in the short term, but it doesn't last in the long term. Once I figure out what systems I need to build, I need to remove friction and build freedom in my life. You don't need more willpower, you need less resistance. So willpower asks, can I force myself to stay on track today? A system asks, how can I make this so simple that it is impossible to fail? This is what puts fat loss on easy mode. Not relying on willpower, hard mode, but relying on systems, easy mode. Now, what systems do I create if I'm trying to lose body fat? I create systems for the 4 M's of body transformation. This is what I do in my program. So the 4 M's are macros, muscle, movement, and mindset. The first M we're gonna look at is macros. So what type of system do you have to create so you can hit your macros on a regular basis? Is that batch cooking your proteins on Sundays and making it a non-negotiable? Is that getting your groceries delivered every Saturday no matter what? Is that tracking all your food at once and pre-tracking? Is that having the concept that I eat what I track, I don't track what I eat? So most people, they're like, I'm gonna track my food, I'm gonna track my food, but they don't set a system around tracking their food. One of my favorite systems to track macros better is don't track at every meal, but track all of your food at once. And then when dinner time rolls around, you're not asking yourself what fits my macros today, but you pull up your app, you look what you actually tracked, and then you eat that thing. Is one of the systems creating a protein minimum like I do? So my protein minimum is 200 grams of protein. Maybe one of the systems for your macros is eating the same breakfast every single weekday, or it's eating the same 5 to 10 meals that you can rotate through, like myself. Another system that my wife and I have created that I do personally and I've done for literally years with my wife and myself is we have a weekly food menu. And so what we'll do is we'll sit down every Sunday and we plan out, okay, what are we doing this week? Like, where are we going to be out? We're out on Tuesday night. Okay, cool. So I need to make a plan from a macros for that. What are we going to have on Wednesday night? And we will sit down and we'll plan out our meals together, a weekly menu as a family. The second M is muscle. You need a system for muscle. You need a system for working out. So maybe this looks like having the same gym outfits for each day of the week, so you don't have to think about what you're going to wear. Maybe this looks like strength training on the same days, 4 days per week minimum. Booking it in your calendar, like treating your workouts as if it were any other appointment, not something you're just going to fit in. That's a goal. A system is it's scheduled. Maybe you don't follow a workout plan right now. You actually need to get a structured workout plan so you're not going into the gym and winging it. The third M is movement. So you need a system for your movement. So movement is just cardio. So do you have a step minimum? That's a system. Do you walk first thing in the morning? That's another system versus I'm trying to fit my walks in throughout the day. Do you do cardio after your workout? That's another system. Okay, what type of system do I need to create for my movement so I don't have to think about it? And the fourth M, which is honestly probably the most important one, is your mindset. What is one thing you're gonna do every single day to work on your mind? Because if you don't master what's going on up here, you're never gonna get the fat loss that you want. You could do your muscle, you could do your movement, you could do your macros, but if mindset is all over the place, you self-sabotage, you're not able to stay consistent, none of it's gonna matter. So what do you do every single day to work on your mind? Is this reading for you? Is this praying? Is this meditating, journaling? Don't just fit this in. Don't just treat this as an afterthought. So for me, I have a morning routine every single day I do no matter what, because I know how important it is for me, and that is the system that I create. The next thing you need to do once you build a system for all 4 M's is figure out a way that you can automate as many things as possible. Because remember, the goal is to remove as many decisions as you can. You don't want the decision fatigue. What I like to do is automate as many things as I can. So can I automate my macro tracking? Can I automate my meal delivery? Can I automate my finances? Like, how can I just make as least amount of decisions as possible so I can make better decisions? Now, you're not a robot, but your habits should run like one, because the less energy you waste making decisions, the more energy you'll have to show up for yourself on a daily basis. Structure is what sets you free. And most people, when they hear about systems and the stuff we're talking about today, they think systems like this are restrictive or they're boring. But the truth is, the systems you create give you freedom. When your meals are planned, when your workouts are scheduled, when your habits are automatic, you're not stuck guessing. You're not stressing. You're just executing on what you know you need to do. You just took the guesswork out of your life. And that's where the results come from. Not from more drive, not from more motivation, but from better consistency. And you're not stuck because you don't want it bad enough. I know you want this. You're stuck because you're trying to think your way into discipline and it doesn't work. Instead of thinking your way to discipline, you need to systematize your way to discipline. And if you're tired of starting over, if you're tired of waiting to feel ready, then stop trying harder and start thinking smarter. Build your system, run it daily, and let the results chase you. Now, I hope this inspired you. I hope this gave you some value. Create the systems that match your life. And if you want more structure, if you want more accountability with your fitness, just fill out the link in the description below for more info on online coaching, and I'll reach out directly to you to see if I can help.